All right, so this is going to be lesson 1 of the Cold War. So we're going to compare and contrast the different viewpoints of the United States and the Soviet Union during the Cold War. All right, so these are our key terms for this particular lesson. State, a country that is formally independent in the world but is under heavy political, economic, and military influence or control. So they're under influence, but they are independent countries. Okay, and sometimes we just reference them as satellites. When you have something that is a satellite, you have like something like the Earth, and then you have something that is orbiting around it. It is independent, but it's going around. Okay, so it's orbiting that area. The Soviet Union is the name for modern-day Russia when the country was ruled by the Communist Party. So for this unit, it is not Russia, it's just the Soviet Union. Sometimes they will refer to them as the Russians. For the most part, they'll talk about being the Soviets or a socialist, which is our next word. In support of the economic ideas related to communism. So when you see these two words, you should be thinking about communism. And then tension, the condition of stress, strain, or pressure. So let's break down this political cartoon and then you can answer those questions. So up here, this person right here, this is Joseph Stalin. We can tell that it is Stalin because of his mustache, that really big bushy kind of mustache. That's going to tell you that it's Joseph Stalin. Now what he is doing, he is coming from the Soviet Union. You see that in the map key. Soviet Russia is all that's black. And then countries in political, economic, and strategic blocks. So these are the satellites that we just talked about. All right, and those are these areas right here. Now, the flag that he is planting, this is the Soviet flag. So when you see that hammer and sickle, that's telling you that it's a flag. And what we're starting to see is he's trying to place those flags in areas that are not currently under Soviet influence or Soviet control. And then it says in here, countries not yet decided, countries under strong Soviet political pressure, so areas like the Yugoslavia or the Czech, and then you have in the white that are under those pressure in there. So the Cold War, we tend to always associate the Cold War with two colors, red and blue. Red talks about the Western Bloc, so it's like this part of the world, right? And then blue is the Eastern Bloc. So remember, north, south, west, and east. West is going to be non-communist. You're going to take these notes in a minute. And then the east is going to be communist. So the Cold War itself is a state of political and military tension. So it is not a fighting war. The reason that it is called cold is because there is no active fighting. All right, so it is between the Western Bloc, the United States, and the capitalist allies, with the Eastern Bloc, the Soviet Union, and its communist allies. So the United States, what's the Western Bloc? So it's the United States and NATO, as well as the economic system being capitalism, the political system being democracy. The idea, the big goal is this. The United States want to contain communism, and containment is the word of the day when it comes to the Cold War. So containment is to keep communism within the borders that it already exists in. Do not let communism spread to other areas. Now, the Eastern Bloc was part of the USSR. Remember, USSR is Soviet Union. All right, their economic system is the command economy. Their political system is communism, and obviously their goal is to promote communism. They want more communist countries because that's how they're going to get more allies. So for your exit ticket, once you read through all the readings, is to do the map where you have to color the Cold War based on the different alliances.